From Silicon Slopes, I'm your host, Josh Matches, and I'm joined by Lyle Ball, the CEO and co-founder of Avii. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Josh. Good to have you out.
It's great to be here. It is always such a pleasure to talk with you every single year at Silicon Slopes,
Nice.
although it was a little sad to have a hiatus last year.
Yeah, it's like the year didn't exist, right?
It was like the year that disappeared.
Yeah, it would be nice if there were many parts of last year that we could just not ever think about. And there were some good parts of last year.
Of course, there were so many silver linings to COVID.
Yeah.
So speaking of silver linings, talk to us about your company and what's happened since the pandemic, and what was it like to run a business during the pandemic?
Well, we were launching our new platform at the beginning of pandemic, and we said, look, we're making enough money to self-fund. Let's dig in and let's make the product bigger and better. And so, because we were building off our own funds, not off venture, not off seed money, we had that choice, and that was nice. We would rather have launched and gone out and had a year, in the market, but we used it to make more product and learn more about the industry, and it was a good year for us. So now we're out, we're pushing, we have this amazing pipeline, and we're going to end the year very strong.
Exciting. So how does Avii differ from some of the other competitors in the accounting space?
Yeah, so we actually have 21 years of history in accounting. Most of it was behind the scenes and unknown, supplying KPMG and others with behind the scenes big software to manage very big government programs or personal and private programs that that are downstream from government funding or government regulation. And 5 years ago, we said, look, the industry is really messed up. Accounting software, each firm has 35 to 80 individual software silos, and most of their software is not connected. That's the big problem in accounting. And so if you call your accountant, you most often don't get them on the phone, and it's not that they don't want to provide great service, they just don't have the answers ready at their fingertips because they have to look in so much software, they have to call colleagues, they have to look at reports to get you the answer that you're seeking. That's a sad state in this existing framework of software. So we took that view and we said, how do we link the software together? So natively we started with a single database, we started with a single API, and our tools all interact in a very tight, connected way, but that wasn't enough. So we created a controller that helps control other software. So you can actually use Avii as your central workspace, and then we can interact with the other software that you love or that you want to keep at the firm. And that's a really big differentiation from most existing accounting software.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure every accountant hates to go to 5 different systems to provide one answer.
Yeah.
So how did you bring it all together?
Well, we did it because we had this, again, up until 5 years ago, we had 16 years history working in the accounting space, working tight with the practitioners and the managers. The way we did it was by creating experience management for accounting, and we stepped back and we said, what is the client experience? And not just what the client is experiencing, but what about the practitioner with the client and the manager with the client? And then what's the practitioner experience and what's the management experience? And by whiteboarding that and creating a map, we said, okay, we will create these solutions and we will connect with these other solutions. And we're creating a model that other companies are leaning into now. And they're saying, okay, we have to be more open with data. We have to let clients have more access to their data. It's demanded in today's world. So COVID was actually a catalyst for our model. We had to delay sales, but it pushed people to think and change, and that's really helped us.
And I'm sure that customer-centric view and thinking with them in mind in terms of what's best for them is really helpful in terms of driving the product.
Yeah, and we have our customers think of their customers, if that's what you're referring to. It's not just what do our clients need, but helping the change managers at accounting firms remember and think about what their clients really want and need. Exactly. There's an example of that. Most consumers for now 5-6 years have used secure portals for banking, credit cards, and healthcare. So you wouldn't think of getting an email with, say, a check question or a balance of your savings account. You get a link and you go into a secure portal where you interact with your credit card or banking system, right? That's how we do that as consumers. But most accounting firms are still very dependent on email. And so we're helping even that shift to an experience that's more secure and singular for the end user in accounting.
Exciting. Well, let's talk about the future of accounting. You have such an insight into this entire world. Where do you see things going, and what's going to happen in the future?
So there's a few elements there. One is the workforce. This year, there's been this great migration, and there were a lot of people that changed jobs, a lot of people that left. They've left accounting to go explore other careers, or they've jumped to other accounting firms. And one of the biggest problems facing accounting firms is staffing. It's going to be a really rough year. And through automation and through software, you can eliminate the need for some human behaviors, the non-deep thought behaviors, changing files, looking for files, moving things around, filing things, reporting things. That should all be automated. So there's a big move to automate things that don't require the human brain to really analyze or do their job. And then by having the right software, you can attract a more tech-savvy workforce. And so in this great migration, technology can solve the elimination of some workforce and attract the right workforce.
Amazing.
I see that as a big change this coming year.
Yeah, I think the theme of automation seems to run through Silicon Slopes. So speaking of Silicon Slopes, we've been here for quite a few years. You've seen it grow. What does it mean to the community here in Utah?
So earlier when we were talking, I said something, I'm going to say it again. My personal brand is being type A minus. And I think that represents the state as well. Many people are really starting to understand Utah in a much brighter light. And type A minus to me is this intensity of being type A, but without the a-hole part, without being the jerk, without being the political or intense part. So one of our key clients once said, he goes, "You guys are kind of quirky in a good way." And we took that as a compliment. He goes, "You're so different, the way you approach business, the way you approach contracts, the way you approach interactions, the way you listen to us." And I think that's just inherent in the culture here. It's a Mountain West culture. It's not just my company or just our team. It's how we do business. And so that quirkiness to us is not a negative label. And being successful without politics, being successful without coercion, that's a core value. And so people are more and more attracted to that. Our unemployment rate is very low. People are flocking to Utah. And it's evident in the numbers.
Absolutely. I mean, look, it's evident to me as a New Yorker, where I've been coming here for years, and just seeing the efficiency that happens here without the attitude that maybe I'm used to as a New Yorker is really an incredible
Well,
thing.
and we have a lot of clients from New York. We love some of the attitude. Like, we lean into it.
I mean,
play
a
well
little
with
attitude
it.
goes a long way.
It goes a long ways, right? So it's not like it's a bad thing always, but you can do business in a different way, and I think Utah is really known for that.
Really shown it.
Yeah.
Well, Lyle, thank you so much for joining us at Silicon Slopes. I can't wait to talk to you again next year as we see how your company's grown even bigger than this year.
It's going to be a fantastic year. Thanks, Josh.
Super excited.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
We'll see you.